Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Worldwide Slot Car Chat number 156. This week I'm kind of playing Ed McMahon to our Johnny who's on vacation, but just want to welcome everybody. Everybody's here. Hey, Dewan, Garth, J-Rod, David, Courtney, Big Den, Tony, Henry. Oh, whoa, hey, I haven't seen the purple background for a while. It's nice to see you back. Scott, Michael, Jim, John, Jeremy, Tom, Don. And so we can start. Why don't we start with if anyone has a show and tell that they would like to share? I think like share and tell sounds better, but
all right.
Show and tell sounds like something that happened in my public school recess yard. Let's not go there. Oh, Michael, what have you got, sir?
The usual.
Oh, nice. Whoa.
I just got it this morning, so haven't put it on track yet, but it's absolutely gorgeous.
Absolutely.
It's the detail is really nice. I mean, if you look at the driver, let's see how close you can get, is really nicely done. Looks pretty decently to scale. The car is fantastic. Huge wing in the back. It's like, you don't realize it, the size of that thing. It's like, holy cow, it's really, really big. And good detail on the engine. The stacks and stuff are the typical organ pipes style of Chevys at those time. And of course the guide, which to me feels pretty free. Like I said, some people have addressed an issue with noise on it, but I don't know about that yet. So I'll see you later on today. I haven't even pulled the magnet out. Magnet's still in there. Sorry, Chris, if you're here. So anyway, that's me.
I was going to chime in on that. I got mine last week, and took me a couple of days to put on the track and everything, and put on the track, and the buzz around was that it was a decent runner, but the thunder slots and several other things were beating it on the time. And I put it on my track and couldn't believe it. Set a new track record for my non-magnets, and I mean, beat out my Musler by 0.3 of a second. And I was just elated. I said, wow, I really got a really hot one there. And so the next day I went to our race in LA, and I was telling everybody how wonderfully performing the car was. And then they tapped me on the shoulder. Did you take the magnet out? I said, oh man. The magnet was in there. That's why it did such a performance. So anyway, it was nice though. I loved it. It's a beautiful car. Beautiful car.
Yeah, it's really, really nice.
I get mine at Gaydon.
What was that? Sorry?
I picked mine up from Pendle's at Gaydon.
Oh, did you?
Well, not yet. I've got to wait till next month.
Oh, you do? Next month? Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're way behind.
I know. I've been busy.
No excuse.
Gorgeous car.
Oh, that's great. So okay, so Paul, we haven't seen you for a while. Hopefully you have some neat things to show.
Yeah, I've been very, very busy. I've been doing the track, and I've got all the kits for what Scale Electric's done, and I started off by super detailing.
Actually, Dewan, I just need some help pinning. I tried to pin and it won't pin for me. Sorry about that. I just need your help with that. I forgot to mention. Sorry, because we want to see what you're working on. Sorry. We want to make sure we see what you're working on, Paul.
Okay.
Oh dear. Don't.
Wow, so you've been making good progress on your track?
Yeah. Well, because you can see the glazing in that one.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow. Nice.
I've got the light in there. It's all painted in there. I've still got the back to do. The door's all been freed off, so that all opens.
Wow, that's cool.
This has been a nightmare doing this bit because I wasn't happy with what they'd done with the floor. So the old coffee stirrer has come in handy again. And I've done the whole floor in coffee stirrers. I super detailed all the
And,
flags.
oh, sorry to interrupt, but did you also stain them?
That's just wash. That's just
Oh,
a dirty brown wash. And I thought I didn't like the top of the balustrade on top. So I put all mitered joints for the
oh, nice.
so that will actually sit nicely in there, he says, without hitting
That's a Skill Electric kit, a kit from Skill Electric.
that's the old Marshall's hut they done.
Yeah, only Paul built it the way it should have been made from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, it was horrible. I mean, you have to excuse the roof. I've just been playing with the roof, but yeah, it's it was. I dipped it in Dettol and took it. I think it was orange, bright orange. This was.
Wow.
And it took it right back. I sprayed it. I primed it all. Sprayed it all. This has also had a.
Wow.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah.
So that's also underway. So all the brickwork's done on that. I've just got to weather it all, mat it all in, so all put the windows in, glass in. I've painted all the top. They've got the railings that go around. I painted them, dug out all the flowers out of the flower. People are going to see this and say, "Oh my God, what is it?" Because this is an expensive piece of Scale Electric's history.
Yeah, but I mean, you're using it. You're not saving it.
Yeah.
You're using it. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna actually get. You can get the same as on the that you got the grass, haven't you?
Yeah.
You do the flowers. So all the they've got flower beds that go around, or they're like planters that go around. So I've scraped all the tops off, and I'm going to stick flowers in it, so it's actually, rather than have it painted.
You're giving Frank Peter a run for his money, eh?
I know. I've got all the chandeliers, not well, they're like ornate wall lights.
Right, yeah.
So this is going to be lit up with the ornate, because I'm going to have this bit as like a restaurant part. The next section is going to be the driver's section, which is also going to be all lit up. You've seen the top section, which I've done ages ago now. That's all done. I'm painting the figures now to go in that. Speaking of figures, I've only just started painting them.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Nice. Yeah, the monogram figures are great.
Yeah. So they're in the process of being done. I sprayed them in primer first, grey primer, so it picks out all the detail. And I've done like you said, build up the colours on the flesh. So I've done all that on the faces. That's all been done, and they're waiting now. I'm just going to work from. I've done the shirts last night. I'll just work my way down to the bottom.
I don't know about you, but I always have trouble trying to make them look different with different colors and different shirts and pants.
Yeah, well, I'm keeping them. The reason they got blue shirt, because they're all Marshalls. They're actually going into this. So I want to keep them, because I thought track officials would be all wearing a uniform. So they're going to be all uniform. Every single one of them is going to be uniform. This is the second Goodwood fence I've built to go around one of the Marshall towers. That is balsa, all mitered in, and it's held in by now. That's why I've got it's held in by panel pins, 1.5 inch panel pins. So if you hit it, you ain't going to break it. It's going to bounce straight off it. So
you should send, when you're done, you got to send pictures to Lord March. He'd love it.
Yeah. But I mean, so I've done all the grass in it a little while ago. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, that's cool.
But that one there will sit in there like that eventually. So that will then go straight into the track. It'll sit straight. It's got a rebutt where it just sits on the corner. That's that bit done. And the last thing I built is a Carrera. I've been running BMW M4s, and I've got the Audi, and I threw the chassis away as per and put an Amato chassis underneath it, and it goes like stink.
You know what? Carrera makes such great bodies. They really do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crap it's just crap running gear. So that's what we do, throw it all away and get a 3D printed chassis, which I still haven't got my 3D printer yet. But
Well, listen, with all that you've been doing, we weren't going to go there, but thank you for the voluntary.
yeah, just in case someone brought it up, I thought I'd better let you know. Yes, it is still buried. I've got what's my phone? Oh, I had some signs delivered. I don't know. Did you see the Goodwood fence I put up? Oh, a back along. It goes along the main street in front of the driveway.
Yeah, I think you showed it on our off camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's been an update. Oh, I can't. Of all the things, I can't find it now. But I've got some pictures done, some signage done, shall I say. Bear with me. There, I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, the Ferodo sign, yeah.
Yeah, I've got all that. It's got News of the World, Dagnet.
Oh, nice.
So that's all gone down. So I've actually got some signage going onto the track now. That's the other marshal's hut. I don't know if you can see the fence.
Yep. Yeah.
That's the first one I built, and I put signage all around it. That hut is now being in the process of having all this done to it. I've got 4 of them to do.
You did such a good job. You may have to be part of the union now.
Yeah. What I've done is I've cheated because I cut templates out, and because when I dipped one, it completely fell apart, and I thought, love it. So because I got all flat surfaces, I was measuring it, drawing around it, and believe it or not, that is just embossed wallpaper. All that brickwork on there is just embossed wallpaper, printed embossed wallpaper.
That's brilliant.
So I thought, right, I cut templates out, and they fit lovely, absolutely fit.
Wow.
So that is it. That's
what I was going to ask. I was going to ask you about that brick. Is it so it's just like stick on?
No, it's actually wallpaper. I don't know if I can show you.
With the design, you put the design in.
No, see how bumpy it is.
Yes.
That's just embossed wallpaper that has been printed on. There's a place in Greece. He does all the stonework around my track covering mainly the big woodwork going around the edges. I've covered it in embossed stone. And he does. I said to him, do you do the 1/32 scale brickwork? And he said, yeah. And I showed a video a little while ago of where it was on here. And I'd done one complete, where all that Goodwood fencing is, I've done all that, and because it goes up in a gradient, and I've done round the edge with all the ivy hanging over the sides of it, and it goes underneath, round to the other marshal's hut, which is on the other end. So yeah, it's lovely stuff, and you just wallpaper paste it on, bosh, stick it on, trim, cover all the. I used acrylic ochre on that, brown ochre, I think it was, and it matches all the seams, so it hides all of it. And when I stuck the Bolstwood retaining supports on, I did, because it's that thin, I didn't do the edges with the brickwork, so I just ran the ochre paint down the edges, and you wouldn't know it's not brickwork.
Amazing.
It's actually meshed, and that's what I'll be doing with this. When this all goes together, all the seams will be brushed in, and everything will disappear. So
great job.
that's why I haven't been around.
That's brilliant.
But that's it. That's my little contribution.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, I've finally bit the bullet, and I'm holding a 6-hour race on my track in July on the 22nd and 23rd, and it's NSR Classics. And we've got 4 local teams from different clubs come in, and True Speed are actually racing on it as well. They're bringing a team down. You've got Avon Racing, you've got East Devon Racing, of course, I'll be racing as well. So, but yeah, it's. I've actually got in touch with NSR, and they've donated some prizes. So that's really good of it. I thought, wow, get in touch with them, say I'm using, because everything's standard. They're all standard NSR cars. And I thought, ask. And I can only turn around and say no. And they didn't. They said, yeah, there you go. We'll send something out nearer the time.
Very
So-
cool. Well, hopefully you'll be covering that as well.
If I can figure out how to do it, I would. I'd love to set something up and let it go. But it should be a laugh. I'm gonna say it's the first time my track is actually being held for a meeting with other teams actually coming in. I mean, say there's people coming to my track, never even been to it. So yeah.
Very
looking forward
cool.
to that.
Thanks. Oh, thanks so much, Paul. I
That's
guess,
all right.
yeah, Don, you have your hand up.
Yeah, everybody just wanting to show what the newest addition to my collection is.
Oh, a Viper.
I love those cars. The Revo,
Scale Auto.
let's go out.
Yeah, I've had several Vipers, Scalextric and Fly, and they're beautiful cars, but they don't drive very well. This one is the exception. Very quiet, very smooth. And I like "Don't mess with Texas" written on the top. Not that I have anything to do with Texas, but I just think that's cool. But
I've done
anyway,
a Sunoco version of that, the white kit, as I would.
that's all I got.
Is that Scale Auto, Don?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Very
you
nice. Have you come across any more sort of vintage lots that you've been acquiring, or?
Well, I've been kind of working on some different things. Give me a moment here.
Wow, between you and David, it's like they're mystery guests. It's so cool.
Have you ever tried putting one of those Scale Auto white kits together?
This is what my desktop looks like right now.
Oh man,
Wow.
Vintage City Doodah. Look at that.
And that's not counting the ones that are over on the track to the right of me here that are already built and running. These are ones I'm still looking for a part here and there for.
You have quite the how can I say, collection of dynamic chassis there. Wow. Now we know who has all the dynamic chassis.
Oh, no, there was a better deal out there that I wanted to bid on, and when I finally had the cash to go ahead and buy it, it wasn't available anymore. They ended the auction for some reason. Somebody must have called and said, "Hey, I'll give you this X amount if you do it today." Is the only thing I can figure. Because it wasn't make offer or anything like that on it. It was supposed to last till Saturday, and it disappeared on Wednesday.
That's
And it
normally
was
when they do that.
So,
I hate when that happens.
yeah, don't we all?
Very
Yeah,
cool.
I was after a K&B chassis for my GE40, and that happened to me last week. It was there. The next thing I thought, well, hold on a minute, what happened to that? It didn't even finish. It's supposed to finish this week. It gone.
Wow. Cool. Well, thanks, Don. Appreciate it. And Big Den. What have you got for us, sir?
Well, firstly, I'm going to start off with share screen with a show of solidarity, John.
Wow, thank you. Very cool.
Now, after the bagging you endured last week, I thought I better sort of cover your back, you know, because one of my nephews here in Launceston married a lovely lass from Calgary and presented the family with a little boy about 3 months ago. So I just thought I'd you know, sort of say that we're not all Canada bashers. So. And
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So, and the next one was just, I don't think that either Wayne or Dennis are on today, but one of the chassis that Wayne showed in his sort of barn find presentation had this thing, and the motor, I believe, the double-ended motor is a Champion Black Power motor. I can remember going to an event nearly 50 years ago in Hobart, and 4 of the local guys raced 4-wheel drive cars using these motors. So I'll stick my head out and say that was a Champion Black Power. I just noticed it as we were going through. Now the last one is just a little bit of a light-hearted thing. We often have a little thing about Magnus. One of the local tracks was reopened just last week, and the owner decided to put magnetic braid on. So our webmaster made this little comment about magnet racing. So if you just got a minute or two to read that, what do you call it? The work of the devil or something like that. Yeah. No insinuations to anyone past, present, or who may be a magnet racer, but I just thought it was quite a clever little
No, there's something to be said for magnets. It's kind of like a starter beer, right? Like that's where you start, and then you realize that it's more fun without them.
Well, particularly after Dewan's earlier mention of his unbelievable MRS shadow. So yeah, okay, that's all for today. So I'll stop that.
Very cool. And I guess, oh, wow. And if no one else has anything else, we can, I guess, move on to Club Corner then. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry, Courtney. I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't have my hand up. I've been doing 3 different things. We have an enduro race coming up. We have an enduro race coming up, so I was working on the lights for my enduro car, so I thought I would show that.
Nice.
And that's going on a PlayFit or Pro Track 4.5. But I wanted to share it. Has anybody checked out the Evans Designs is where I got these lights? Has anybody else bought anything from them?
How are they
No.
powered right now? Are you running the battery straight to them?
Yeah, so
Oh, gotcha.
so the car's going to weigh like 170 grams.
Whoa.
So we're testing. And so this is I did a body. I did this same car with the lights that run off the motor, but of course they flash on and off. I put a capacitor on. It's okay. Because we're racing on a commercial track, there's no digital side of it. So I thought just for the ease of it, for this next test, I would glue the battery into the body and see if it upsets the car, because they weigh so much. I don't think it's going to, but we'll test this one. Then I'll take it out. I'll put it on the chassis. But I just want to say evansdesigns.com, cool stuff. The lights are little bitty. They have 3 volt, they have 12 volt. I mean, they are really small and lightweight. So that's all I got. And I would like to sing a rendition of "Oh Canada" just to make amends
Oh,
for
well,
my
Oh,
past
please.
transgressions.
you know, no, that's fine. But well, as long as you as long as you acknowledge it as the least confrontational national anthem in the entire globe.
I'd give my
How'd you
life
work
for
that one
thee.
out?
It's
We'll
beautiful.
we'll be quite happy if you mime it, Courtney.
I'm trying to find the
I will
mute
now
button.
do an interpretive dance. Canada moose.
I was
Okay.
gonna say you did the moose. You have to do a moose, exactly. Yeah, and don't forget the
One-
beaver.
Go
Yeah.
on, find him.
Okay, so what did I
was
miss
trying to
then?
find the mute button real quick.
What did I miss, John?
Oh, what? Oh, no, we were talking, I think last week, I was sort of making a point that it was very, the chat was dominated by Canadian content, which meant it wouldn't be taken down on YouTube in Canada, which I really appreciate. Thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. Oh, and Greg has joined us for a moment. He's listening in, but he's not, he's not participating, but he,
Well, I texted him and told him that I would be singing. So, no, but just
do
for the
first
record,
word, Courtney.
I did get Greg's, I got Greg's 3D printed stuff and I haven't put them on a car yet, but I've got them threaded and tapped, ready to go on my test car. Very cool. I mean, if Greg was here, big pat on the back for Papa Greg.
Is this the tire chewer or what
no,
device
no,
is
that
it?
was the brace, right? That was the brace that you were doing?
Yeah.
Oh,
the
yeah,
little-
yeah. Oh, yeah, the one he did on the fly.
Yeah, the one that he
designed
made
50 years-
on site. And actually, while we're talking, I'll go ahead and install it so I can show it. Because that's the kind of guy I am. I'm a giver. If I had to pick another nationality, Canadian, maybe I could get a dual citizenship.
Well, never mind. You just said what we say on the ice when you want somebody to like actually do something. Hey, go give her, eh?
Go get, eh?
Go give her, eh?
Okay, I'm working on it now.
Okay, cool. Cool. Now,
John, when Den showed the Canadian flag, the first thing that brought up was punch for a better view. It must be Canadian then.
yeah, but you can only do that with skates on.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, John, you have something. Oh, fantastic. What have you got, sir? Oh, you got your shadow, and it's actually making a shadow. Wow.
There it is. Okay.
Hasn't been out of the box yet. Came this morning.
Very nice.
Cool. Obligatory with this group.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Beautiful tire.
Yep, I think
Can't
that's
wait to get a white kit and turn it blue and yellow.
I
Oh,
thought
man.
it was appropriate with mine is that the cost of the whole thing with shipping was 101.
Oh, wow. Imagine the number. Cool. All
That's
right,
cool. That's really, really cool. Thank you, John. That's awesome. Does anyone else have anything else they want to? Oh, Gio, you're here. I guess he just got back from his run. Thank you. That's awesome.
How's it going?
Good to see
So
you.
what are we doing?
Well,
is,
we're on the tail end of show and tell.
Mhm.
So if you have anything to show, we'd love to see it.
Yeah, so I can show the work that I've done on the 512
Oh,
or
please.
that
Yeah.
14 plus. Let me bring it up. Nope. Just a sec.
Well, we kind of caught you sort of quickly there. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. Okay, so you should be able to see the picture. So I think this was last week. As I mentioned, the car has to be within 75 grams. So was the car that I tested last week. And as I mentioned, I want to reduce the weight on the body. So if you take the body out, the body by itself, it's 15.5 grams. And I think I mentioned something like I want to bring it below 10 grams. So just to let you know that I failed, but not for too much. So here I removed the interiors and kind of I have the car ready to go for the Dremel. Harry, maybe you wanna kind of mute yourself. I get a lot of echo. Okay, so so this is the starting point basically. So I need to kind of start working on it with the Dremel to reduce the weight. And so I did the back here. And so it's a very slow process. So this is almost all the car now has lost 1 and something grams. And after I've done with the Dremel, so as far as I could go, I think with this kind of bit, then I went for another bit just to do the kind of details, and end up with 10.4 grams, which is okay. So then the plan was to take some of the parts. So basically, there is the interiors with the dashboard, the top scoop where there is also the engine details, and these 2 radiators here on the side. And I did this vacuum formed basically version of it. So this will be the body with the original details. If you know the full weight details will be 13.5 and actually 9 because there is also I forgot to put the dashboard. And this is the car now with the vacuum formed details, so 11.2, so which is not too bad. Yeah, so this is basically painting and decorating the vacuum formed interior, installing everything. So painting the scoop yellow was not that easy actually. So I messed up the first one, so I had to do another one. I had yellow, and this is the final car. Okay, so this is the track where I kind of started doing the testing. This was last Sunday. So I was running on red, and I managed a 4.396. This was at the beginning of the session, and basically I was improving. I think I went down to 4.35 maybe, which should be okay if I manage to maintain that. Let's see, red is my favorite track. Yeah, so will be a good pace. Then green is the worst track, the worst lane, I would say, because it's the inner lane and corners are very sharp, so it's not my best. But still, I manage a 4.362, so which is not far off from my favorite one. White is very similar to red, and the yellow is the quickest one as a lane, and I brought it down a bit more, 4.34. I don't know what's gonna happen during the race because these cars are all very close with each other. The lanes spacing is not that much, so over the corners, if you're overtaking someone, there is a high chance that you're gonna be kicked out. But it was a nice exercise actually. I mean, to go back, because as I said, I've not been doing analog for a long time, so getting back into it has been nice. Let's see what happens this Sunday for this race. And that's my share. I have another share. I mean, because the race on Sunday is gonna be 2 classes. So there is a 14K and then there is an 18K. So, and I have also I would like to show the 18K at one point. Maybe I will do that later on. Maybe Harry can go first.
You want Henri to go first? You want Henry to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, his chair's there. We've lost him. Oh, there's Henry. Hello, Henry. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good, good. Well, what have you got for us this week, sir?
I have an empty PLA crate.
Oh, why? Okay.
Yeah. And then you put the plate on top of it.
Right, yeah.
And then we have the battery holder.
Nice.
And then you have a roller bar.
Oh my goodness.
And you put it all together.
So have you used it in any sort of competition yet?
Yes, we use it. It was a lot quicker than we did by hand. So
Oh, look at that.
and-
Yeah, look at that.
we did some. You can take out the roller, and then you can put on a plate with sandpaper, or you can use your plate with Windex or water or any fuel, what you like and what you we call it draft, but I heard other people they called it Windex. So you can also do it on your tires. So it's a whole package, and that's going okay. I've sold last week 5 of them when I was in a race.
How much are they, Emery?
35 euros.
35 euros, okay.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, but you know, Petrucci always takes multiples of everything.
Yeah, in every color.
Oh yes, I support the effort that people do to make things. I support them.
Absolutely. Oh, fabulous. So Henri, it hasn't been banned yet, which means maybe it's not working that well.
Maybe it is. We had a race last week, and we had a lot of problems with grip over there. So they did the toughing. We call it toughing. So spit on the tires, and that will help. So and for this device, it wasn't the dust what was on it. I don't know why, but cleaning the tires with the roller didn't help also. It only helped when we do this with your finger and making the tires wet for 3 rounds, and then it's off again. So, but for cars, for tracks where you drive, you go off the track, you go into the dust, then it's a quick way to do it in 2-3 seconds to clean it off, and that's all. That's all it's going to do. Nothing more and nothing less. But it's much quicker when you do it by hand. So yeah, let's test it and hope the people would like it. And otherwise, I'm a fan of it for now.
I think I love the modular aspect that you can do different things to the tires with the same device.
Normally you take an official grinder, a truing machine, but yeah, there are also people who can pay that. They do it with sandpaper. So and you're not going to manage it with a 9-volt battery on sandpaper. That's why those buttons are over here, and you can hook them up to 12 volt.
Henry, are you going to be? You should have a booth if you don't already have one at the Slot Car Festival. Are you going to be there?
On a Slot Car Festival?
In England.
I'm living in Holland.
Yeah,
so
yeah. But
I'm not going to fly to England for a festival. The only way I'm going to fly to England is for a race, not for a festival.
Well, I was going to say, all of your products and everything, you should have a booth there. I'm sure you make a killing for people wanting to purchase your products.
Henry,
Yeah.
you could rent a rowboat.
I got an idea. Dewan, if you're going to be there, get one from Henri before you go, act as an agent and just walk up to people and sell them. Who needs a
So it
boat?
is. Yeah.
He don't
we
need a
have-
rowboat. He can just come over with the French.
We have all
Henry,
our own
if you-
festivals.
If,
We have
if
our
you,
own festivals in Holland.
Henry, if you fly over, you sell one, you've paid for your flights. You sell two more, you've paid for your room.
That's correct. Paying for your flight for $35. I don't think so at the moment. I just booked for the race in Spain and it was 200 euros. So it's not cheap flying at the moment.
Maybe it's because it's not January anymore.
Maybe, yeah. And at this moment you can be happy if you come back when you're flying, because it's terrible at the moment.
Well, best of luck with those. I'm sure that anyone that sees one would want one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
my thoughts.
actually, if you could put in the chat, if somebody wanted to order it, how they would order it, and we'll put it in the posting. That'd be great.
Yeah, we will do it later. First, we're going to run some tests and show how people will like it. Yeah. So
Oh, I think they will. Yeah, I think it looks great.
thank you.
Cool. Well, thank you for showing it. And Jim, what have you got to show, sir?
Well, Mike and Dewan were talking about the shadow, so what to do with it. So here is what I'm working on so far. And so we're putting more, we have a Can-Am race this weekend. So we're putting more power in it because you never have enough power. And I haven't got the front tires trued yet, so that's why there's nothing in the front. Everything else is pretty stock, except for now it does have a lead weight instead of a magnet. Most likely it will have more weight because these cars typically do. I'm kind of building it like a Thunder Slot. Air wheels, 5208, 5209 Ultra Grips on the rear, which is the same as we run on the GT3 car. And if you've got the car, you notice that the gear sits below the chassis slightly, so you can't get the car as low as I would want to for this class. So the gears, interestingly enough, that's a NSR angle winder gear.
Yep.
And a 7.5 millimeter set screw pinion. And that of what I've got in my parts box, that was the best fit. And I haven't seen anything else that's going to be any better fit. So it's odd combination, but angle winder pinion, angle winder spur gear. And as Chris says, there's no such thing as an angle winder spur gear, but this is an angle winder because it's got the bevel in it. So we'll see how it works. We'll find out on Saturday. So that's the update on my shadow.
So the pinion is slotting plus?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you notice there, I'm not going to put it back up, but I had to put the pinion on backwards so it wouldn't interfere with everything else. So
also because of the spur gear is basically sitting between the chassis and the pod, so you cannot really move it too much, right?
Yeah. There's a slot in the chassis that the spur gear has to sit in between, and so you can't move the spur gear very much at all. You're correct.
Yeah, so basically we did set up like that in a Sidewinder with the angle winder gear. We did the 24 hours, the digital ones. So it should be good.
Yep. Yeah, it seems like it meshes pretty well.
Yeah.
So that's it for me.
Cool. Well, well, I'm glad you're recording your progress.
Jim, what are your thoughts on that pretty much revolutionary guide location system?
Well, I don't necessarily think it's an ideal guide, but it's necessary for the car.
Okay.
And it seems to work fine. It's not quite as free. I think it will be much. I did put just a dab of oil, and afterthought might have been better to put maybe some graphite grease on it or just graphite powder on it to let it slide better. But I don't think it's going to be a problem at all. It moves fine. It does not bind. So I just don't think it's an issue, and it's just kind of a necessity with this particular car.
Okay,
Sorry,
cool.
Courtney.
I don't see this taking over, and I can't speak for anybody, but I wouldn't think that MR Slot Car, if they have clearance in the nose of whatever car they build next, would stay with this. I think they'd stay with a regular guide, but we'll see what happens.
Cool. Sorry, Courtney, you had your hand up, sir.
Yeah, sorry, I'm messing around. I can't remember how to raise my virtual hand. But this is the piece that Greg made for me. Of course, I just installed it, so I have not used it. However, it's beautiful. It works really well. I ran a hand drill through it and tapped it. And of course it works great. So
Color doesn't
I'm
match.
working on tires now. Huh?
Color doesn't match.
Yeah, well, I tried to get the blue and yellow match set, but I went for the amber orange of, I don't even know
No,
what.
that's Dutch. You went Dutch with it, right?
Well, it matches the wire.
It's totally golden.
Yes.
It's
Totally
McLaren.
golden.
It's papaya. It's McLaren.
Papaya.
I gotta
Golden,
say though,
thank you.
it looks like it's bang on as far as measurements and so forth, eh?
Yeah, it's just putting it on just now. It's a tick wide, but I think I can tweak that with the way that I drill it. And in case you're wondering, they weigh 0.000007 grams, Wayne.
Wayne will like it.
I can't help it. I can't help it. I get one little thing and I just go way too far with it.
That's okay. No, Wayne Weight Watcher Lander has his reputation for a reason.
Hey, it's because race car.
He muted himself.
He muted
My
himself.
goodness. Wow, no Freudian
it's-
slip there.
I said it's because race car. I don't know if you heard me. I thought
No, you muted yourself. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, you did it again. Wow. And maybe his wife's in the room and she's muting him.
Oh,
no, it's because I'm using the space bar to temporarily unmute.
Oh, cool. Okay, gotcha. Oh, we just missed you. That's all.
Were you trying to say race car spelled backwards is race car?
Whichever way you look at it, Jim.
That's awesome. Does anyone else have anything else to share? No, we can. Should we move on to Club Corner then, folks? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Does anyone have any Club Corner to share?
Of course.
I've been watching your videos. You've got a really good location for your camera, Michael.
Oh, thank you. Unfortunately, Monday's race, I forgot to punch the button and we had a really great race. Just the two of us were there. But Shiggy and I had 50s sports cars, and we had a Maserati A6 GS and a Mercedes 300 Benz SLR. And we seesawed back and forth the entire race and ended up only half a lap apart after 125 laps, but none of it's on video, which was really annoying. But anyway, we had a great time, and it was good to get the first time I've been able to get the 50s classic cars out there. It was a real contrast. The Mercedes was good handling, but not quite as fast. And I don't know if any of you have seen a Scalextric Mercedes, but it's a side-mounted front engine. It's mounted on the driver's side with a drive shaft that's offset to the rear, but it handles surprisingly well. And one little trick that I've been doing on some of those, well, here, let me grab the car and I'll show you what I'm doing.
Those are magless? You running Steel Electric magless?
Pardon me?
You run those Steel Electrics magless?
Yes, they are magless. So this is the Mercedes. The driver is out of it right now. And what I've done on some, well, actually, I haven't done it on the Mercedes. I haven't had to. That's right. On the Maserati, this is the Maserati.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh, that-
Carrera Maserati.
Yeah, it's a Carrera, yeah.
Yeah. Well, normally the front axles wobble like mad. So what I've been doing is, first off, you can get them down low enough that the wheels are pinned to the top of their travel, but they're still floppy. What I did is I drilled into the, I don't know if you can see it very well at the front end.
Oh, and you mean
There-
those holes at the
Those
bottom? of
little
the
grub
chassis?
screws at the front.
Yeah, yeah.
I drilled a hole and threaded in a 2mm grub screw that was 8mm long. And it's got enough that it holds the axle in place so that there's very little front axle movement.
Oh,
And it
it
was
looks like-
brilliant. I've done it on a couple, I think I've done it on the Jaguar too. Yeah, I've got a Scalextric Jaguar here. You can see it a little bit.
Oh, no, that looks like, is it Carrera, isn't it?
Oh, pardon me, Carrera Jaguar. You're
Yeah.
correct. Same as the Maserati in that regard, the same chassis. There again, I drilled a hole, put the long 2mm grub screw in it, 8x2, and it holds the axle in place really well. It was like, oh my God, it made a huge difference in the handling. It was really kind of a funny race, this particular one, because as I said, the Mercedes was nice and smooth. And here you can see a little bit, I think.
Well, being a stock Carrera, Michael, did you find the brakes almost absent or?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Especially in the Maserati. So the thing was kind of funny because it was hard to drive in many ways because it would accelerate reasonably, so you wouldn't get so much punch out of the corner, but then it would have mid-range like crazy. And on the longer straight, it's like you got about a millisecond of full bore, and then you had to shut it down because otherwise you'd run off the end. So it was really, really interesting in that respect. As far as the rest of the corners go, it's pretty good. I've weighted it in the front. It's a rear motored car.
I noticed you did
there's
that. I noticed you did that for the Jag and the Maserati, right?
Yeah, yeah. The Jaguar is still a little bit too top heavy. There's I don't know if you see the windscreen on it. It's got a huge, thick windscreen up on top. It really makes it a problematic. Now these cars being so narrow and tiny, width-wise, they're really difficult to keep from flipping over. If you get any traction at all, they are on their top in a heartbeat. But it actually did fairly well going on, and I was pretty pleased. It took me a number of weeks before I got these sorted out enough that I could race them. I mean, otherwise it's just a crash fest, and that's not much fun. You know, it's just like if you go through two corners and crash on a third one, what's the point, you know? So it took quite a bit of doing, but it's nice to see these older cars like this work pretty well. I kind of planned eventually to do as I've done with my Porsche 550 and put a brass chassis underneath it. I'm working on that. So I'm probably going to do that for most of these because it turns out that it's a much better chassis overall. But this got them running for a while and they were fun to run. So,
Well, again, as long as you're running like against like, it's a blast.
well, it isn't really because that's what's interesting because it's completely different.
Oh, right. I forgot about the Mercedes. I apologize.
Look,
Yeah,
look at where the motor is.
Oh, wow.
It's front with a drive shaft with a completely offset gear.
It's not even where you would put the weight on your Carrera car.
Correct. So it's like completely different, but it's reasonable. The Maserati has fatter tires on it. You can see there, I use some fatter, and these are urethane tires, Paul Gage urethane tires. Now the Mercedes still has rubber tires on. No, I'm lying. It's also got urethane tires on it. So, it's comparable, but they're skinnier. But, the cars are within a couple tenths of each other and were really comparable. As I said, the race was seesawed back and forth, and really quite fun in that regard. We decided not to run a ghost car for this one because they were touchy enough as it was that we had to make our concentration there. We didn't have to worry about passing the ghost car in the outside lane. So anyway, that's me. And
Very
it was
cool.
good day, good week.
Awesome. Who would like to be up next? Anyone? Oh, Giovanni, you still had more to show and tell. I'm sorry. Oh no, it's Club Corner. You're okay. Okay, sorry. Okay, my apologies. Who would like to share their next club experience? Anyone?
I have a club experience on YouTube, and I did the link in the chat.
Oh, that was your latest video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's really cool.
Maybe you can start it because when I started, it's not going to be quick.
Oh, well, maybe Duan. Yeah, Duan, if you're maybe that would work. Yeah.
Try that.
Maybe you can try. I don't know.
Cool.
I think tonight we have all the time. It's gonna work, Dwayne, or not?
Nope, wrong one. That's the wrong one. Hold on. Or was that? Was that the wrong? No, let me try it one more time.
Oh yeah, you're almost there.
Is that it?
Not yet.
That's not the race?
I think you have to start it.
Okay, but that's,
Oh, there he is. I don't know. Yeah. Let's see what it does. Do you have sound?
Oh, I forgot to share the sound. Sorry about that. Let me stop that. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Let me do it right. I'm a rookie at this, remember?
No, you're doing great.
I'm a rookie at this.
It looked like the frame rate was very slow for me.
Yeah, it was a little chunky, but that's okay. We can probably still see most of it.
1 second, I gotta get all this stuff back together.
The owner, Renee. Hi, Renee. Say hello to the people in all of the world.
I heard that.
Pretty loud.
Oh, here we go.
You can't see it though. The flag is hanging. We are now in Bovenkaspel at the location Apex. Welcome. And this is in his backyard. And
no, it's not going to work.
Wonderful man cave over here. Here we have a bar. Hi ladies. Good morning allemaal. Hi. Ja, I do only.
Ja, ik moet even de auto maar weten waar het al.
And here we are on a track and we are already training. Is the owner Renee? Hi Renee, say hello to the people in all of the world.
Welcome.
Welcome. We are playing with the rules. 1 gram less is okay over here. Always by the same people.
€7,50.
Het is 2468.
Nee,
2467.
Dat is een Turk. Dat is een Turk, die doet niet mee.
Oh, I'm paying with Turkish money.
Those are the entries, 16 cars. And most of them were Matras.
First heat, first 4 men.
I think you can stop it, Dwayne, because it's terrible to see.
Well, that's a heck of a track, though. Wow.
It's a Carrera track of about 28 meters, and it's a 6-lane, and he made 4 of them analog and 2 of them digital Carrera.
Wow.
But it's a very tricky track. It's just so long. It hasn't got very long straights. So it's gas off, gas on, gas off, gas on, and yeah. Personally, I had a little problem with the grip and the tires over there, but yeah, I've learned a lot about this race because they had a maximum of 35 magnet downforce from the motor, and if you lower the motor, and you use a wide bracket, then you're almost at the end. And that was the difference. I had a gray bracket for the motor pod. Mine did 20 grams. And you can see that on the track. If you had 10 grams more downforce, then you had a lot of more grip. Because my car was running about 9.3 seconds, and the winner, and I drove after the match with the car of the winner, and I did over there an 8.3. So that's 1 second every lap. And if you race every stint of 20 minutes, yeah, then you're going downwards. So at the end, from the 16, I had an 8th position. So that wasn't all too bad, but I've learned a lot today again, because this is the 3rd time now I'm going to a Carrera track for a race. And I have my own Carrera track, so I can test my own cars to have a look if my car is decent enough for the track where I'm going to. But every time I'm stunned because the grip isn't always everywhere the same. Even it's a Carrera track. It can difference from day and night. So that was the experience for me from the last race of Sunday.
Oh, great.
That's very cool. Oh, Dewan, you've got your hand up.
Oh, yeah, I guess I do. Well, I made another trek down from Las Vegas to Los Angeles in over 4 hours this time around. And participated in our Far Out Slot Car Club, which is becoming, it's pretty popular. We're averaging in excess of 20 some odd drivers per race almost. This time was a little bit lower. I think we had 18 or not. We started off with 19. We ended up with 18 racers for the first race and then 16 for the second race. And we're racing 2 classes, the Lada DTM class and the new Revo Group 2 class. And I'm persistent about going down because I'm persistent about trying to improve. And it was pretty nice. The first race was the DTM, and I have the results here. I think it's sharing. Is it sharing? Yeah, sharing. Thanks.
You are moving up. Look at that.
Yeah, so I finished in 13th out of 18 racers, based on this right here. I don't know why they have a rank over there. I don't know what that's all about, but I'll have to figure that part out. But
maybe
yeah,
that's the line in Vegas.
okay, yeah, gambling on that. They wouldn't want to gamble on me. Anyway, but yeah, it was a pretty decent run, and I liked the car. The car performed pretty decently. Did come off. I was averaging coming off still 4 times per heat. That was just insane with this car. Well, one of the key things, and I don't know if I have a picture over here, but this was done on Stephen Farr Jones's track, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but he has a very, very tight chicane. He has a cave that everything collapses down to literally one lane, one car being able to go through the cave at any given time, the chicane that he has there. And most race courses don't do chicanes, but this is a very strategic track that you have to dodge and work out that little kink in there. So coming off is very easy to happen because of the chicane and other aspects of the track. It's very, very scenic track. I think I'll see if I can find a shot of the track in a second here. But yeah, so the second race was the Rival Slot Group 2, and I had an Alpha in that race, and actually won 2 of the 4 heats, and I didn't come out 2 of the 4 heats. I did not come out 1 time, which is really impressive. But by the same token, I did not improve my standing. Where's my navigation button? I don't know what happened to it to navigate to the next slide.
I have to say that Mr. Farr Jones is the most hospitable person in the world because he didn't win on his own track.
Yeah, you know what he did? He didn't practice, and he used all loaner cars as opposed to his specifically tuned cars. They provide the club provides loaner cars for people that don't have, because we have 11 different classes, and they'll have a set of loaner cars for each one of the lanes. So he used the loaner cars, and you know, each lane has a different loaner car. You have to get, you know, so it's quite a challenge. So, but nonetheless, well, actually, it looks like he did use a couple of his cars, but I know for the entire time he was there, he did the loaner cars. Let me see if I can figure out why I'm not getting my navigation button here.
Duan, try the left and right keys.
Button.
Yeah, I've tried that. Let me try one more time.
It looks like, and Frank was there as well.
Oh yeah, Frank was there. He was oh, okay, you know what? It would only go one way. Here we go. So this is the second race. And this one I finished 14th. So still not last. And again, like I said, I actually did win 2 of my heats, and it's all based on who's in those heats. Because you know, the drivers in each heat represent you know, the competition. So, but I felt really good, and the cars that I have will perform admirably. And if the driver can keep up with the cars, then it'll be even better. So, but that was exciting, and that's pretty much all I had for the Club Corner. We do have another race coming up this weekend, which is going to be slotted group. Let me see, yeah, so many.
Well, I like that column there that compares everyone's performance to the average. I do that too with a spreadsheet, and it's really useful to assess any individual performance. It's a useful measure, I find.
Yeah. But yeah, this weekend we're going to have the Slotted Le Mans Group C class, 1982 to 92, 82 to 92. That'll be the first class, and the second class is going to be our sideways racer Group 5, 76 to 82s. So that'll be the 2 races this weekend, and we have 4 races in a row. 4 weekends in a row we're going to be racing, so it's pretty extensive for this right now. And the track is going to be on a 3-lane routed track with a high bank. Kind of interesting. It's over Jim Wiseman's at Claremont Raceway. Jim Wiseman. That's all I have.
Cool. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I think Steve, I watched Steve Neal's video on it, and you were in it.
Yeah. He's a great guy, and we seem to be neck and neck. If you saw the results, I think he was always one step ahead of me. But the races that I was in with him in, I end up he was in the same heats in some of my races, and I beat him in those heats, but the ones that I was in, he'd outperformed me. So, but I think we're pretty much on a par level.
That's so cool. That's awesome. It's nice putting, you know, seeing how you guys are getting together too. I think that's great. And Steven seems like a really, really neat guy.
Great guy. He's into so many hobbies too, so it's kind of entertaining. And
The other thing I'm really thankful for, I showed my wife all his cars and said, "See, I am not that bad." Cool. Well, thank you so much, Big Den. You're a Club Corner. All right.
No, not really Club Corner. I just wanted to comment. When looking at the field in the Class 2 sedans, there only one Escort out of 15 cars. I thought is Escort not considered to be the go-to car to on, or is it just the way? Looks like it was predominantly our Alphas were the top 6 positioned on it.
The Alphas definitely are the dominant choice. And they really perform well. I mean, in the straightaway, my car, for whatever reason, no one. I would really. That's why I won a few heats. I was really taking everyone over in the straightaways. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Just performance, a little engine, just a little bit motor, a little bit more than the others. I don't know.
Are the Alphas maybe a bit lighter? Is that the case or no?
No, I don't think so. They
they
really handle well though on that track.
That is interesting. Wow.
They are lower. They're a little bit lower in height, and that has a significant difference on the handling, I think.
Yeah, but Dewan was saying that his was actually like very quick in a straight line as well. That's why I thought maybe it was later. Huh.
Yeah,
Very,
just to
very
be
cool.
the differential the motors, and I just got a little lucky and got a 15%. It says like a 15-20% differential in those motors. Maybe I got on the high side. I don't know. But yeah, I was really and people were seeing that, well, I'm in the straight and taking over. I'm able to pass people out. Corners are a little tough too. But that was pretty dominant.
That's very cool. So we're on to Gio.
Oh yeah, John, if I could, just before we're out of Club Corner,
Yeah,
we did have a race meeting last Saturday. Six people turned up, including our fly. And well, he doesn't fly, and he drives in from Hobart, which is quite a commitment. 400k round trip, not quite as much as I hear Dewan makes, but I did not live up to my previous performance, and the only thing I can think of was those chocolate bunnies I won on Good Friday must have been laced with some go slow substance or something like that, because it just wasn't like me at all. Righto, that'll do me.
That's hilarious. That's awesome. Cool. So Gio, how goes your Club Corner, sir?
Well, I don't have Club Corners because the pictures are still on my phone from last night. So I have not downloaded them on my machine. So I will skip for today.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's.
I mean, yeah, if there is some time left, then later on I would like to ask the group for some recommendation where to put the weight on a thunder slot, but I can wait till later on.
Okay. Well, has anyone else got any sort of club activity to talk about?
Oh, not club activity.
Sorry, say again. Sorry.
Not club activity. I was just going to bring up something that I thought.
Yeah, please. Okay. Yeah, then let's move on and open the floor by all means.
Yeah, I just found something a little interesting on the Home Racing World Forum, and so I can show that, and just want to share that and see what everyone's opinion was on this. It was this gentleman. He talks about how he tends to race by himself on an analog track, and prior to that, he was just taking his controllers and putting a rubber band around them to just to race, and it was just kind of Aqua processor, trying to get it exactly right. And so he came with this little device right here. That was pretty cool that he's able to use this little device right here that allows him to treat it as a controller with the constant, well, with the be able to trim the acceleration, etc. So, anybody else see that or have any thoughts on it? I thought it was pretty nice to do something like that. I do that myself as well to try to get a little.
Yes, when I saw that too, and it made me think, isn't the slot car world ready for a little intelligent device that can learn how to drive a slot car and just drive it around with variable power? Just, I know that Slotted can do it with their oxygen system, I think. I've never seen it do it. But the world, I mean, the slot car world is so ready for someone to create an electronic device that can actually use a throttle and learn.
I mean, there was this Scalatrix Challenger that was going around learning the track and then basically kind of going changing speed. So the only way in which I think that you can do it is if you put some, if you're talking analog, you need to have some sensors around the track, like accelerometers and stuff like that, in order to understand which corners you are, the speed that, or the optimal speed that you can take for corners. Although replaying it, it's kind of a bit of an issue, right? Because there is no information for the car where it is along the track. So when is the break point? So
my take on that, Gio, is that when the car D-slots, there can be a current sensor, because when the car D-slots, there will be no current. And so you could set an AI off running at a fixed low speed, and then it would do a lap and not come off. And then it would come off when it's sped up. And then it would notice how many seconds after the start finish line it actually came off.
Are you talking about the constant speed?
I'm talking about a learning mechanism. I mean, artificial intelligence teaches itself by playing a game a million times. Well, you can do.
But depends also which kind of sensors the AI is using for simulating or replay whatever behavior you're talking about. If you put the car on the track, how the heck does it know when it needs to stop?
Well,
even if it learns in 2 seconds, 2 seconds from the starting point, because there are going to be some variables in speed or whatever, right? Because these also change during, then it will come. I mean, we used to have that with like RCS64, for instance, but the only thing was that the car or the program has only one point along the track to sense where it was. So if you had a multiple point across the track, then I think it would be, I mean, at least you would need to have 1 point for each of the breakpoints. So before the corner. But unfortunately, you know, unless you put some extra hardware, and to be fair, I mean,
go ahead.
Yeah, it's not that convenient. I mean, I don't know.
I was thinking, couldn't you put some type of recording mechanism on the usage of a manual process for it to record the?
Yeah, that's exactly what the Slotted system does. It records your driving, and then it takes the same car and drives it the same way as you did.
Exactly. So,
but again, the main problem is that you need to sync. You have to have a way of syncing the replay of whatever those commands along the track, because it will go out of sync, because the motor will change, the temperature will go faster, the tires will change, will have more grip. So the behavior of the truck, in fact, is what it says is that you have to be very conservative in your driving when you're recording it. You cannot really push it to the limit, because otherwise the car will come off. So unfortunately, unless you put more information along the track, there is no way that you can have a good way of replaying back the lap. There could be some technology, but I'm not gonna say. who is there, because I don't want to make any kind of free advertisement
was
for
away.
ourselves.
This is the Oxygen Ghost Car option.
The one that basically Wayne was talking about, the recording. I mean, it's the one that goes in the slotted chip. This stuff that Dwayne is talking about here, I think it's for analog.
Okay. For this,
Yeah, it isn't a product I'm aware of, but there's got to be some student in some university somewhere that could do it and use it as a I don't know, a final year
As a thesis.
project.
Yeah.
Exactly, and then come out of university with a product.
here you have a step down motor. And I did it on an XLR and I put it in the track and I can do the voltages from 12 to 5 volts, 4 volts, etc., etc. So for analog, that's quite easy system.
Yeah, in Oxygen you can do the same because the controllers, they have this ghost car mode. I mean, again, I'm talking about having a constant car going around. You put the controller in a ghost mode, and this actually you can do also in analog. Actually, it's an SP2 or SP3 features. So the slotted controller, they have a feature in which you can put the controller in a kind of that basically delivers what they call a ghost mode. So delivers a constant voltage or constant command, the throttle command to the car, and works, as I said, both in any kind of configuration which you can put your SP3 or SP2 controller, right? So it can be analog, Oxygen, any other digital system that you're using it. So what happens is that you put the controller in that mode, and then you have a knob, and you can give a constant throttle command, whatever it is, right? And so the car will go a constant spin around. So of course you have to spend the $300 or whatever it is for buying the SP controller and the cartridge that you're going to use. I mean, the stuff I think that one was showing is maybe $10 or even less from AliExpress.
I think Silage has that controller.
Who has the controller?
Silage is the French company who made Oxygen tracks, but he also is making controllers. And the controller is made by there is in it an Arduino, and there you can program your car, or you can program your car for driving around as a sort of ghost mode. But I tried also the ghost mode in Oxygen. It has one point that he knows that you're starting, and that's on your start point. So he reads the magnet. If you come off on a track somewhere else, you have to take off the car again, and you have to start by the start magnet. But it doesn't work great.
Yeah, you're talking about it. I mean, the one that I was talking about, the ghost mode in the controller, it's basically doesn't need any point on the track because it's constant speed.
Okay.
The one that you're talking about is basically replay. You have to record. So you have to put a special firmware into the Oxygen chip, which is only for the C1 and B2. So you put the firmware, special firmware, then you record this lap, and of course you have to have the start to finishing line where the car basically sync into.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you come off, you have to bring the car back to the main, or well, there could be other ways in which this could be handled, but I mean, yeah. So you have to kind of bring it back to the starting point because that's where you're gonna start the lap that you're recording into it.
Yeah. But the difficulty is that the motor is running at the moment you put the brakes on your track, and you have to wait maybe 1 or 2 seconds, and then you can put on your car on the track, and then it's gonna run. But then it accelerates exactly at the moment, hopefully, where you record the acceleration. That's not always the same. So I found it difficult to program.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's good as a prototype, but I don't think that's anything that I would like to have on a truck.
Yeah, it's a nice feature.
I think that's worth the PhD.
Yeah. So what is your background doing? I mean,
No, I just thought it was intriguing to be able to do something like that. Because I do have a lot of downtime on my track with myself, and I just do I do my time on racing, timing my cars and things like that. But it'd be nice to have something like that going around.
Yeah, I would be happy just to have cars going around like a model railway, just as a calming thing while I'm in the workshop working. That's really cool. I mean, model railroaders have it on us. I mean, what they basically have built is like a mechanical goldfish tank.
I've got that on mine. I've got on my track, I've got a box that it's got, like the railway controller's got the twist turn thing. You just set it at the speed you want, plug them all in, and the cars will just run on their own.
See, I think that's so cool. I think that'd be awesome.
That's how I clean my track. I just put 4 cars on.
Good.
Just
That's another good reason. Yeah, cool.
yeah, I mean, if you have, okay, I don't know. It seems like talking about how to suck eggs. I mean, yeah. Do you guys have like variables, power supplies in your track?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you want to have just your cars going around, I mean, just to short the connectors. I mean, basically,
that's true. Yeah.
or and then you get, and then basically it's the same thing that happens with the trains, right? You control the speed. Of course, if you want to control fine-grained control for each of the lanes, then you need to do something else, like what Paul was suggesting. But honestly, I mean, it's not rocket science. You can buy these kind of variable things, I mean, dimmers, whatever, from AliExpress, and the only things that you have to do is to replicate the kind of the hookups that you have for your controllers, right? I mean, I mean, I'm not an expert in electronics or anything electrical, but it's a very basic stuff. So, man, if you guys are saying that there is a kind of, seems like inventing, I don't know. As I said, yeah, I mean, could be pretty easy to put something together. I think Gary is already designing something.
Cool. Well, now, Joe, you wanted some help with a car, you were saying? Sorry.
Yeah, so the Ferrari that I showed before, so that is like what we call 14K car. So we are running a 14K Fox motor, I think, and Fox Jackrabbit motor on it. So there is another class that we're gonna race this Sunday, that is the 18K class. And so again, you have to use a 18K Jackrabbit motor on it. So, and there is also weight limit or minimum weight for the full car that's to be 80 grams. So I took usually the Thunder Slot are the car to go for this class, because they are allowed to race. For the 14K, the Thunder Slot are not allowed to race. So, okay, so this is my Lola Spider that I did way back, I think it was 2018. So this is one of the first white kit that they released. So after 2019, basically I stopped racing. So I put everything on the side, analog. I put everything on the side, and last weekend or 2 weekends ago, I took the car and the wheels out. It was performing pretty well. So, okay, so I modified a bit the body. So this was that I've done a long time ago. So it's below 10 grams. And the overall weight of the car with the configuration that I'm going to show you is 75.5 grams. So I had to find a bit of extra weight to put on it. So these are the slab of weight of lead that I'm going to use. And so what I did, I put basically, so when it was 75 grams, these piece over here and this piece over here, so around the
Are you trying to show something? We don't see anything.
Are you not
Awesome.
sharing, Gio?
There we go. All right.
Okay, so yeah, so basically these so this is the car that I was talking about, and with this weight configuration or distribution, the car is within the limit, right? But it's not performing that well. So when it was performing, basically this piece over here and this piece over here, I hope that you can see my pointer. So these are triangular pieces that are on each side of the pod, they were not there, right? So, but I need them in order to be compliant with the weight limitation. So this is the overall look. Now, when I took this car and I put on the track, well, the performance was not that stellar. So I was thinking if you guys had any idea or recommendation where to put these extra 5 grams. So I tried to bring, so I removed, so these are touched by BlueTack. So while I was in the truck, I removed them from this position. I put them here in the middle of it, close to the motor, but still not happy. Maybe one thing that I should have tried was to put maybe here on top of this piece of slab, but closer to the central point. So I don't know if you guys have any kind of suggestion of where to put this extra weight, or have any idea.
What was the performance like without them then? What was the difference?
Well, it's not kind of huge, but it's 0. It's like I would say 0.5 seconds difference in the lap.
And the motor is the 14K, did you say?
No, this is the 18K. Sorry, it's the 18K motor.
I think you might even gain half a second just from power to weight ratio. You've fooled yourself into you've taken yourself into the illegal zone and spoiled yourself a little.
So how would you do that?
No, by running it at 75 grams, you've spoiled yourself, and you now know what the car can do, and it won't ever do it at 80.
Well, okay, so it's not just as I say that. Okay, so I knew that I was gonna lose time, right? But it's also a bit of the handling, because let me see if I can show you I don't have a good picture of it. But basically, before the screen here the car, there is like a very tight chicane, and there where you make your lap. So with this configuration, before the car was like floating through that chicane, but with this extra weight, then basically it seems that it makes harder to go through, and I'm losing a bit of time there. So it's not just weight and kind of that is slowing down the car because the motor cannot keep up with it, but I think there is also maybe some of the handling. Anyway, so I thought if you guys had any kind of ideas, yeah, would be.
Have you tested your 4-weight after weight distribution? What percentage is on the guide and what percentage is on the wheels?
No, but it's pretty obvious here that is basically muscle on the background. I don't believe
I've seen in the UK some of the not this car, NSRs. Yeah, I've seen some of the people in the UK putting weights in front of the front wheels, either side of the guide, and I don't know how I feel about that, but it works for several people, and that's the only place I can think that you might not have tried.
Yeah, there isn't much extra space actually. Yeah, go ahead.
There's a spot here. I've got a chassis. This is a Thunderslot Lola, correct? Okay, if you look in the front here, right behind the guide, I've got a little piece of lead there. and then a piece of tungsten just behind the front axle, as well as in the center and on both sides in the middle. Okay. And this car handles very, very well on my track. What track are you working on? What
That
kind?
wood track he was showing you.
Yeah, the wood track that I was showing.
The wood track? Okay. All
The
right.
main problem is that there is a whole difference with this car, with Thunderslot cars on wood or on plastic. On plastic, they work terrific, but we had about 10 of them on our club, and we drive on wood, and nobody could fix that car. But nobody.
No. Okay. So just to be clear, I'm talking about the wood racing, and this car on wood, they perform extremely well. I don't know what you guys are doing on your wood track, but on our wood tracks here in New Zealand, these cars, they fly. So these are the best handling car almost out of the box that you can get. You
Okay.
need to tune them, but they are stellar performance. All right. So here I'm just talking about it. The car goes well. I mean, if I didn't know about timing and whatnot, I put the car on the track, it goes really nicely. But I'm trying to get to these extra, 0.5 seconds or whatever. I mean, if I would be happy with the 0.2 per lap.
Have
Right?
you
So-
tried a stiffer pod and
Yeah,
I
chassis?
yeah.
can't. I cannot do that. So I need to use the black one. Actually, that is also.
Oh,
I've
the
tried
black-
I've
that's-
tried the
that's
stiffer.
rules?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have an opportunity there. If you use tungsten rod, you can glue that to the chassis and make the chassis very stiff if you wish to.
Yeah. We use the harder chassis, we use the harder pot, we stiffen it up with everything. But
He is
Okay.
doing that. I mean, he's put that slab of flat lead in his motor pod. That's got to have stiffened it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Gio, are you allowed to glue the motor in?
Yeah, I mean, the motor is basically has those screws. Do you think gluing
Yeah,
it
so-
gets extra? Yeah, go ahead.
Right, so the thunder slot pods are so flexible. First thing I do is I like to use shoe glue and I glue them in. And then can you stiffen the rear braces? Can you add bracing?
Yeah, so basically the rule don't say anything about that. How do you do it? So I never done it before. So I was playing with a couple of piano wires pieces, and I saw Chris.
Let me, I'm working on a new system as we speak.
Oh, by the way, I have to
Um,
raise it this Sunday, so it's to be something that I don't need to have Craig to print something. And
Yeah,
just
no,
send to
it's
me.
simple. It's simple. I take the one thing I've done in the past, I take an old carbon fiber arrow shaft and I cut it in half and I put that between the uprights. This car here, I'm struggling to get this.
Are you bending a sharp angled C shape? And
No, the
gluing that-
arrow shaft is, the shaft is,
No, not with the arrow. I meant with the piano wire.
Yes, I've done that. Yeah.
so
So basically, I'm
here's-
kind of experimenting. Yeah.
if you can see it now, this is the arrow shaft here. Okay. And then, and you, again, I like those 05 motors, so I'm playing around. So I've taken another piece of plastic across the top, across both sides, and glued it to the top of the motor. So it makes the whole pod really stiff. So that's what I care about, that motor angle shaft, the motor armature shaft to the rear axle. I want that to be as stiff as possible.
And so that's a piece of styrene that you're using there. So you just basically glue on top of the uprights of where the bushing goes, and the other side goes next to the motor, glue it to that.
Right,
You know,
it's
this-
super duper light, and
Yeah.
it seems to work really, so far it seems to be work pretty good. And then, of course, you can see what I've got weight-wise in the front. I've got that's a chunk of tungsten in there as well.
Mhm.
So it's all on the pod and there's virtually nothing on the chassis by the look of that. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've had it on the chassis before. This car is just kind of starting its testing. And I don't like to put it on the outside edges. I do it, again, I do it a fair amount, but I don't like to start that way. But this car is really smooth. There's no chatter. There's no, and of course I'm using the hard pod too. And I still stiffen it up some more. And again, I like to use shoe goo or like an E6000.
Yeah.
So is
Okay,
it
so-
wood track high grip, Gio?
Yeah, it's the grip there is crazy.
It sounds
to
like
us.
exactly the things that Courtney's talking about are the right things to do.
Yeah, that truck basically, everything gets to be done perfectly. Otherwise, the car will go like crap. Especially so there is. So let me show you. I mean, if you bear with me, I will try to find maybe a picture of the track. So it's we talk about 4.1, 4.2 second laps, right? It can be 3.9 if you. I mean, these are the stock underslot can do 3.9, which is extremely fast. Consider that with a Mosler, super duper the Mosler, we were doing like 3.8, but not in racing condition. This is just like testing over. So let me see if I can get just a second.
I'm sharing something.
Quite a bit of work going on there.
This is the way I try to stiffen up an NSR. And you can see the bridge between the front side. And I made 2 PLA pieces over there. Yeah, with no cost, you can do stiffen up your chassis simply.
And is that working better that way, Henry?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
This is not your car for Barcelona, is it? Because this is the red motor pod. This is for your wood track.
Correct. It's the same car as the AMG Mercedes from NSR, but I'm trying to make also one for our wooden track on Slipstream.
Yeah.
See, Henry's prepping a car and he has to use the black motor pod.
Yeah.
And it's for Ninko track. It's a different animal altogether to what he's not.
Yeah, I mean,
against. Yeah.
It's for preparing a car for.
I'm just showing it because there are different ways to strengthen up a chassis.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the strengthening the chassis. It's mainly how I can find an optimal, let's say, weight distribution. So if you guys had any ideas on that, but yeah, fine. I mean, thank you everybody for kind of sharing some thoughts. I think I can shut up now.
That's cool. Well, it looks like we got a few people with their hands up. We got Don. Have you got something to contribute?
Well, something that I've been working on for several months was reconditioning this car. And it was a SCX. Whether it was digital or analog to begin with, I don't know, but I had most of the parts to put it back together, but one of the biggest problems that I was running into, and I'm using a different car to show the example here. If you look real close at this part here, which is a movable part that's in SCX, both on their analog and digital cars. But this particular one is different than just about all the others out there. And there was a series of these that they ran, and I think they were all digital. The problem I'm having is finding the guide that fits that hole. And what I ended up doing to make this car work was cannibalizing this one, which I can make it work again, but I'm going to have the same problem of being able to find the guide that goes in it. And what is the worst part about it is it's not like I haven't tried to find a guide that will work in it.
Gotcha.
And the one that I think will work in it the way that it's supposed to, the guy that's listing them is wanting $149 for 3.
What?
What?
Come on.
Don, what about a commercial guide?
The way SCX does their contact, you'd have to go in and redo all of that. And if you
All you
don't
gotta do is
do-
solder a wire direct to the motor.
That's right. But you still have the problem of finding something that's going to fit in that gigantic hole. It's a big hole. It is about twice the size of everything else.
Right, that's what I'm saying. A commercial guide is too. A commercial guide is way bigger. You may have to
Oh,
do
Is
some
it quarter
sanding.
inch?
Oh yeah, you're talking about a 3/8 inch wood guide.
Yeah.
I would call it a commercial guide because everybody has a wood guide, but it's not commercial grade.
Well, I'm referring to how it attaches, which is basically with a nut screwed
Yeah.
down over the post. That
Oh.
might work if it was smooth, but that surface that fits up into is not smooth.
Is that the guide?
No, it's red. I have
Red?
that one. It's this
Um,
guide.
I've just gone onto Pendle's site to see what they've got.
I mean, it's the older one. It's not a new setup. It's the older setup.
It's not the one with a spring in it by chance, is it?
Well, they both have a spring in it. There's 2 different kinds of those.
Doesn't that have an extra little plate that goes on the top that
No, it
swivels?
does not. The
Yeah, I thought a lot of those SCX guides, they have the guide which have got, like a rectangular cross section in the guide post, and then they fit up through the hole. But on the top there's another little. I mean, Wayne was talking about this eons ago when he was for the class where he had to run a standard SCX.
That's
And
correct, Big Dan.
It's very hard to get the thing to not wobble all over the place. And there's I'm sure there's a little plate on top that swivels that the spring attaches to. That may be why your hole appears too big, because there's an extra component that needs to be on the top.
this is the old style. I can find these. And if you can see the spring in there,
Oh yeah.
the way it is shaped, okay, that's not part of the guide itself. This is the part that fits into the chassis that the guide goes into.
Yeah.
There's always scratch building a chassis with that nice body. You can always do that.
Well, I got the nice body. It works now. I got the guide out of the other car.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the CG adapters make a universal guide carrier that you can sort of graft into get rid of all the SCX, paraphernalia, and just put in a circular CG guide adapter, which will take any of the conventional 32nd scale guides. That's depending on how much you want to modify the chassis, of course.
Right. Well, I normally don't like modifying the chassis.
Yeah, fair enough.
You can do that. I mean, I've already thought of other ways.
Denny, this is what you're
Make it
talking about,
work.
right?
That's it, Mike. Yeah.
I don't see, well, I mean, I'd have to do some major cutting to make that work in this, but
Yeah, you'd have to drill a hole big enough to do it. The other option that I can see is, can you sleeve it? Because the hole's too big, and just use a piece of brass tubing in there?
well, the brass tubing would have to be so thick. Because I mean, there is a major difference in the hole of this and their new style.
Uh-huh.
Major difference. The new ones are easy to adapt. You can use
Yeah.
everybody's guide in it, but this one has such a big hole, it has made it difficult to find something that will work. I've tried some, you know, other aftermarket guides to try to keep from modifying the chassis, but I don't really see that happening.
Well, one thing you could do is get a piece of styrene rod and glue it in and then drill it out to the correct size for a regular guide.
Yeah, well, you know, there's definitely lots of different techniques out there that one can get into. It's just a shame that on such a simple part that you can't find one out there anywhere.
Under $150.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean, you know, it's just absolutely insane.
Yeah, I think,
You know,
I
it's
think
bad
Don,
enough having to pay $10 for 3 that you can't use, much less pay $159 that you don't know if
Yeah.
it's gonna work or not.
Don,
Yeah.
this to me seems to come under the heading that many manufacturers can be accused of, and that is, what the hell were they thinking when they designed something, you know?
Yeah,
Or
well,
weren't they thinking?
it's just part of one of those things of trying to restore some of this stuff. I mean, this is
Yeah.
really a simple problem compared to some of the others I've run into, so. You know, try to find a chassis piece that they haven't made for 55 years. And not many of them to start with,
Mm.
like some of those Sprint chassis everybody's going bananas over right now. As far as I'm concerned, they can go bananas over those all they want. I am not going to pay $500 for a little silly car. I might sell one for that, but I ain't gonna buy it.
I was gonna say, if you have one, then you should maybe think about exactly, yeah, selling it, yep.
But that's all.
Cool, well, I see Paul has his hand up, but he's gone AWOL.
Step away from us.
Well, no, but seriously, he's literally has a wall there.
Nothing
But,
like a good play on the
well-
words, yeah.
Oh, he's back, he heard that.
So I was just checking my spares because I thought I had some red guides of those up in my spares, but I haven't got none.
What are you showing, Wayne? Hold on.
Right,
Oh.
that's what I was on about.
Oh, okay.
That's
the
what I
way-
plug. That's what I plug into my track. Set whatever speed I want to go at, and then away it goes.
Do you need a radio license for that in the UK?
No, cheapy shit. Probably in Canada you would.
Looks like he stole it from the
With
military.
your early warning system. You ain't got one, have you? Because you're that close.
We do. They're called geese.
Yeah. And moose. But that's it. That's all it is. That's all that plugs in. Standard plug it in, set your speed, car goes.
Yeah, I saw Henry sent some links. I don't know if he wants me to share them or not, but he sent some links on a controller and another system that was in place for getting those cars to run by themselves. But, do you want me to share those, Henry? Oh, you're muted. I'm sorry.
Henry, you're muted, sorry.
So was you slagging me off while I was gone then?
This is movies from Silage, and I saw something right there. A Silage with breakpoint sensors. I did a link for the Silage controllers, and I thought they had something that you can program.
Share this thing.
I don't know why it's on his hat, but okay.
I think that's kind of cool. And what device?
That's giving me an idea.
But I don't know the heck how he did it.
Oh, you don't? I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
I've got an idea. I know how you can
Yeah, I
replicate
have
that,
an
very
idea.
inexpensive. What you do is you take some sticky tape and cover one of the rails and cause a break zone. Just tape out one side of one rail and the car
Yeah,
will
I
run over
understand.
it.
Yeah.
The car will approach it at speed and it will lift because there's no more power. It'll go around the corner and pick up power.
It also helps when your car sounds like a bag of marbles going around the track.
Yeah, but I think, yeah. So I think basically with there is another video here going on.
No.
So with the, silage, so basically they use, I don't remember the
Oxygen?
name of the guy. No, it's not oxygen. I mean, oxygen can be one of the many systems that you can run on silage. So they are independent on any digital system. So because basically the way in which it works is that the cars will always follow the racing line. So you saw that there are lane changers, right?
Yeah.
So basically what happens there that the truck will sense where the cars are and they can decide, the car will decide automatically whether to move a car on the side or not if you are following someone. So when you're overtaking someone, it's not you basically pressing a lane changer button moving on the other lane. It will be the truck to decide if you're quick enough that you can overtake, moving you on the other lane and perform the overtake. So I think with this sensor that they're talking about, because basically for each of the lane changes, the truck will sense if there is basically power that has been taken by the car. So that's how basically it senses if you are quicker than another car and where to place you. So it can also do the kind of a braking, right? So because sense where the car is, and they can perform like a reduction of power. That's what basically Wayne was suggesting of doing in a cheaper way. You just to put before corner piece of tape. It's basically similar, but you're doing in a different way or implementing it in another way. But I was saying that so basically with that mechanism, you can only have one car, or you can only have ghost cars going over it, because the same brake mechanism will be applied to the car that you are controlling.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's a video. I don't know if you can see the cars going.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do I know that that's not your kid basically going? I mean, I don't have any proof that that's your device.
That's my track.
Yeah, but I don't know that this is that device that you were showing. I mean, this could be your kid hidden there that is doing.
No. If you look carefully, you'll see.
He's under the table. Have a little faith.
That's nice, isn't it? Cheeky shit.
It's animated. It's animated.
No, that's track cleaning.
I do the same actually. I mean, modern truck cleaning is getting rid of the rust on the rails, electric rails.
No, look how it's changed from then to what it is now. You can see the ones coming around on the. See them in the. Yeah, that's the driver's console bit. You're just gone past. That's my shit filming. You won't see no more of that. But that's all changed to when I put all the Goodwood fencing in, all that walling's gone in, got rid of all the dull house walling, everything. That's what I've been doing. That's why I haven't been here.
I think Silage makes for this kind of track they use dead spots, and then it's how the car they know where the car is at that moment.
Well,
Well,
actually,
I mean, yeah. Go ahead, John. Yeah.
no, I was gonna say, we've actually reached our 2 hours.
Yeah, we reached our 2 hour mark.
Yeah, so I think, well, we can continue this sort of after hours if you like. Thank you all for being here, and I guess it's time for us to wave goodbye.
Bye.